Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I'm going to be regularly covering some frequently asked questions and hot topics each week, and today I wanted to cover the most asked questions that I see on Star Citizen from my community, as well as the more general internet about Star Citizen. Is Star Citizen a scam? No, categorically no. Star Citizen and Squadron 42 are being developed, and the funding that Cloud Imperium receive is going back into the project, it's paying for staff, and generally the game's development. If it was a scam, it would be like pretending to land on the moon by building a rocket fully capable of landing on the moon, while also letting everyone watch you build it and actually land on the moon. So there are certainly various areas of Star Citizen's development that do warrant criticism though. So when is Squadron 42 or Star Citizen coming out? There is no release date for Squadron 42 or Star Citizen. Cloud Imperium are publishing the game themselves. This is a double-edged sword and very unique in the form of the way they are doing this game's development with its monetization, etc. There is work on the roadmap for Squadron 42 going into 2022, so it's not going to be released before that year. For Star Citizen, they release a major quarterly patch 4 times a year. The game is playable now, but it is very much an alpha. It's targeted for these major patches to be at the end of March, end of June, between September and mid-October, and the middle of December. I am roughly guessing a more complete version of Star Citizen will be ready around 2025. When is the next flyable ship sale? There is a newly flyable ship sale with each major patch, typically. There's also 2 major events each year that have ship sales. Fleet Week at the end of May and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November. There are also typically ships available around CitizenCon and Christmas, so that's mid-October and end of December respectively. And there's occasionally some more little flash sales and that sort of stuff going on as well, as and when. Are there any entirely new concept sales or straight to flyable sales that we're not aware of yet publicly? So there's a few ships that we could see in 2021. The Origin 400i is something that's been leaked and talked about a little bit, so we could see something like that. There's also a Xi'an cargo ship that Cloud Imperium talked about at CitizenCon 2019, and a mobile refinery ship that Cloud Imperium probably are working on. Beyond that, there is certainly going to be some more, but we don't know, or we don't have much in the way of leaks or rumours yet. When is the next wipe? So for those of you that don't know, Star Citizen has LTP, long-term persistence, and that keeps players in-game money and assets between patches. However, Star Citizen will wipe all of that from time to time based on the development or testing needs. More likely, we're going to see wipes when we get iCache and server meshing. That's not to say that we will, it's just to say that that is more likely. Also, when the game moves to beta and when it moves to fully released, that is again likely times we will get resets of the long-term persistent database. You will not lose ships that you purchased with real money during these resets though, so bear that in mind. When will 30Ks and disconnects be fixed? So 30K errors are an umbrella term for any form of client-server disconnect. They have seen a lot of fixes recently for Star Citizen, leaving it in a much more stable state, but they are still relatively common. As the game gets more refined and the netcode gets more robust, 30Ks and those sort of disconnects will become less. iCache and some of the other updates they've got planned in the future will potentially allow for even server crashes to not interrupt play, as the server will be able to either quickly recover or regenerate or be aware that it's crashing and move you over to another server. That's the sort of idea they've got there. When will the roadmap be updated? The roadmap for both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen is planned to get some updates towards the end of January, and this should add more of the teams, like the core tech team and the downstream teams that are working on things like, well, the core tech team, iCache and server meshing, downstream teams, things like UI and lighting, that sort of jazz. This should also expand out the release view to show what they've got planned for the Q2, Q3 and Q4 patch, patches 3.14, 15 and 16. Potentially one of those patches, the Q4 patch could be called 4.0 if we get server meshing, if we get the system pyro in there, but that is optimistic. Once that roadmap's been updated, we should get regular updates every 2 weeks. Can I buy and sell my ships for real money, my game account, that sort of stuff? So you can't yet sell ships in-game for in-game money and in-game credits earned to other players. But you can buy almost all the flyable ships in-game, though, with new ones being added each major update. Typically, there's a couple that you can't buy currently. Hopefully they'll be added in 3.13. All ships, except for a couple of promo variants, will be available in-game to buy with in-game credits at some point. You can request a refund for purchases from Cloud Imperium, and they will honour it if it was purchased with real money within the sort of like last 2 to 4 weeks, so bear that in mind if you do need a refund, and if it's beyond and out of that window, then you can still request one, and they do it case-by-case basis, I believe. There is a grey market on Reddit and some websites where you can literally buy and sell ships with real money, and other items as well, I suppose. Cloud Imperium do not support this though, and if you have any issues, they will be unable to help you. Just make sure you are fully aware of anything, you've read all the rules on those particular areas that you're potentially buying on the grey market, protect yourself, all that sort of stuff. Some people might try and scam you, just sort of be aware before buying and selling on there. People do sell accounts on there too. That's a bit more tricky, as I believe it's always the property of the original owner, so I would not recommend buying a whole account at all. But I won't overly recommend the grey market, mainly because you could have a problem on there, and I don't want people to have problems on there. Do it at your own risk. That's what I'm saying. What's the best starter ship? So, the ship you want to start with is probably the best starter ship. The cheapest way of getting into the game, though, is with an Aurora MR or a Mustang Alpha. I prefer the Mustang, but some people prefer the Aurora MR. If you don't mind spending an additional $25, consider getting an Avenger Titan. It's a really great all-rounder for combat, missions, and cargo, and is very upgradable. It's a big jump up from the starter ships as well. That said, if you just do a quick little upgrade to your Mustang Alpha, give it some better weapons or whatever, then you can clear a load of low-end bounties and get a Avenger Titan pretty quick in game, to be honest. Is the game suitable for solo players? Yes, but there is a huge amount more fun to be had by joining an org and getting involved with parties occasionally. There are some missions which are going to be incredibly prohibitive, or actually just in some cases impossible to do without working together, without getting involved with some more players. How do I convince my friends to play? If you have to try and actively convince someone beyond suggesting that they take a look, then it might not be for them yet. Star Citizen is very much alpha. Some people want more polished games and with progression, and I would refer to Star Citizen as much more of a tourist experience at this stage. Get people that aren't super interested, or maybe a little bit interested, to take a look at Star Citizen during the free fly events. They can play for free, and typically these are during Fleet Week in May and Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, but sometimes they have more. When will this feature be out, or that feature, or this X feature? The roadmap shows what Cloud Imperium are working on and what is roughly planned for releases, with at least a 70% confidence when it comes to the release view. The progress tracker sort of shows what they're working on, but doesn't give an indication of when that will actually be implemented in the game. But the release view shows that what they've got planned for a particular patch to at least 70% sort of confidence level. So bits will change from the release view, so bear that in mind, but it is when they put stuff there, it's quite likely it's going to be in that patch, or at least really planned to be there. At time of rating, we only have the 3.13 Q1 patch on the roadmap in the release view though, with, as I said earlier, the rest of it coming later in January is what we're expecting anyway. When is the Hercules C2 and M2 coming out? It's planned to be flyable during the 3.13 cycle in a 3.13.x patch between April and June, but not the initial 3.13 release. Banu Merchantman and Polaris, when? So these are super popular ships. The Polaris is getting work during 2021. I'd expect it to be flyable mid-2022 at the moment. That's not a confirmation though. The Merchantman still needs some more concepting work, and nothing is currently shown on the roadmap for it yet. End of 2022 would be very optimistic for that. What's changed on the Redeemer, Merchantman and Polaris? It was confirmed that the Merchantman and Polaris have grown in size. The Redeemer is in active development currently as well, and is a focused gunship now, but still looks very similar to the original design, with a good amount of updates. Beyond that, we do not know much about the hardpoints or systems for those ships yet, and how they may have changed. When will we see Theatres of War? What's happened with Theatres of War? Theatres of War is that more sort of battlefield style, objective-based, quick match against players rather than the much, well, slower-paced Star Citizen, I should probably say. It's a much more arcadey experience, Theatres of War. Now, there were various performance issues in 2019 that they had with it, and they want to resolve those, along with generally improving its gameplay. It should be back to Evocati Q1, Q2 of 2021, and should go to a wider audience when it's ready. We do know they're working on things like the Tonk for that, the Nova Tank, and the Titan suit. I think they really want to get in relatively soonish, medium term probably, for the Titan suits. Cloud Imperium are doing regular internal playtests for Theatres of War, so it's been played quite a lot by their QA team, and a lot of their studios, they sort of like a load of the devs play it, as far as I'm aware. Why don't you cover all of the leaks and all of the news from Star Citizens? So I'm an Evocati member, so I'm NDA'd by Cloud Imperium. I'm one of their NDA testers, so I get to play the Evocati builds, the really early builds, and get privy to some information. I will not discuss the particulars of an Evocati patch or showed leak footage from an Evocati build, nor talk about those patch notes or data mined specifically from an Evocati build. The only real thing I can confirm is something that Cloud Imperium have confirmed publicly. Typically, this will be things like if a Evocati build is currently being tested, stuff like that, so very minor things. This is also true of some of the stuff I've talked to Cloud Imperium employees about interview-wise. I'm effectively NDA'd for them. I go on office tours, I'm NDA'd for that, and I there's a variety of informations that I'm aware of on the project when I've been on previous tours, which I effectively can't talk about yet. So beyond that, though, it's pretty much fair game. I will actively try and have clearly marked videos for leaks and spoilers, though, as to not offend the eyes of my viewers. So if it's sort of information mined out of a non-Evocati build, or it's some other form of leak, cool, I will most certainly cover it. Am I paid by CIG? Is BoredGamer receiving money from CIG at all? No, though they have recently started giving me ships to give away with the launch of major patches. I typically get anything that's newly flyable to give away, historically anyway, for the last like 3 or 4 patches, and there are no strings attached. So that's the only way I would accept that sort of stuff anyway, if there are no strings attached. I will be fully transparent about that and anything like that in the future. I am happy to shill as long as I can say that I am shilling, basically. Who is Zin? Zin is my editor. I've now started to... I've employed a full-time editor now. Zin's one of my best mates in the world. She's going to be playing Star Citizen with me on stream occasionally. She's going to be organising events. She's going to be doing lots and lots of stuff. So she's basically a more competent BoredGamer channel aide and editor, I suppose. So you should see more and more improvements to my videos as we sort of like learn exactly where we want the editing to go. I'm bad at editing. I think we all knew that already. I'm competent at research, bad at editing. That's all been made possible by Patreons and people that have clicked that join button on YouTube, and generally everyone watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting on my videos. I plugged myself. See? Shill for yourself. That's the way to do it. And that's it for today's frequently asked questions and hot topics and all that sort of stuff. I'm thinking of doing these very regularly, but with more focused topics on ships, features, and, you know, whatever you want to talk about. So share with me your questions below, and I'll build some FAQs from that. And I'm happy to try and poke Cloud Imperium about things too. So please tell me what you think in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway for January 2021. We're giving away 5 different ships to 5 different randomly chosen winners. We're giving away a 100i, a 125a, a 135c, as well as a couple of birdie boys, the Talon and the Shrike variant. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during January. That's it, although I would appreciate if you liked and subscribed. I also shill for NordVPN. They protect your datas and your informations from people that are trying to data intercept it with a Herald or Mercury Star Runner. You see how I built that into Star Citizen based lore. Zin, animate a little radar dish or a Mercury Star Runner stealing someone's data, and then NordVPN somehow blocking that. But if you are looking for a VPN, NordVPN is a very affordable VPN that can get you better access to the internet, help keep you secure and protected, and help you maintain your privacy. Links down below for a discount on Nord. Also, if you wish to further support the channel, there's Patreon, there's a join button below my videos. The extra money that we get from that helps support the channel massively. Thank you so much to those VIPs that go the extra mile to do that. I also like people quite a lot that share, like, and subscribe and comment on my videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.